Hello, everyone. I'm Colleen Vanderzyden, and this is Creating an Inspired Life. How are you today? Spring is just around the corner, and we are so happy about that. I live up north, and we had a lot of snow the past few days, so we are excited about spring coming, and maybe it'll all go away. Now, to tell you a little bit about myself, I'm a registered medium at Lilydale Assembly. Lilydale Assembly is the largest spiritualist community in the world, and people come from all over the world to visit with the mediums, to have healing, to take workshops, and all sorts of things there. It's a wonderful place, and I will be talking about that more regularly now. I do have a special guest coming on next month where we'll have the president of Lilydale Assembly here to answer your questions, so I'll give you a little bit more information before then. I'm also a certified spiritual life coach, and as a life coach, I help people take steps to move forward in their lives. Take steps to change their thought patterns, take steps to take action, take steps to do whatever it is they want to do and get it going. It's a wonderful thing to do. If you've never had coaching, it's really inspiring and it can be very motivating and can totally shift your life. And as a coach, what I love to do is help people. Same thing as a medium. And here on this show, what I do is I like to give a coaching tip every week that can help you, some small step that can make a difference in your life. And today's coaching tip is a little bit of a tricky one because it's about what are you holding on to? Life is really interesting. We all have interesting situations and experiences, and they help shape who we are. These things bring to us certain belief systems that we may establish within ourselves based on our life experiences. And these belief systems are what we use to operate our lives with. These belief systems are what we do, what we have in our heads that create the action of our lives. Belief systems can be great if they're positive, motivating, inspiring, and helpful. But so many times, unfortunately, we have these unconscious, subconscious, really, belief systems that we've learned over time. And we hold on to these things, and we are not aware of them. And they can really affect our lives and stop us from living our life with joy, stop us from moving forward in our lives. We carry these belief systems all of the time, and the positive ones will affect us positively, and the negative ones will affect us negatively, of course. I have a friend who believes that her mother was not very supportive, was not very loving, was not very kind as a mother when she was growing up, this is my friend. She has believed this her whole life. She can't see that her mother actually did a fine job, that there was nothing wrong, nothing going on. The mother happened to be somebody who was working very hard to provide for her family. And in providing for her family, she wasn't there a lot. She didn't have a lot of time to spend emotionally, energetically on things like emotional support. She was supportive to the best she could at the time, but physical survival was more important. Now, when you're fixated on a certain belief, which may or may not be true, but when you're fixated on it, two things happen. One is that you can't objectively look at the belief because your emotions are so strong, you believe that that's just the way it is. You can't recognize that it might not be correct. It might not be true. You just can't see it because your emotions are there and you're blaming other people. The other thing that happens is that when you have a belief, it becomes such a part of who you are that your perception is colored. Your perception of yourself, your perception of other people. And it's ingrained within you. My friend complains that no one likes her, that no one loves her, no one understands her. But interestingly, she's not a very loving person. And it's hard for other people to show love to her when she's not very nice either. She's not kind, and she actually happens to be very judgmental. And she likes to throw that back at other people and judge them as well. She has no compassion. So here she's believed her whole life that her mother was not very kind and all of those things, but here she's demonstrating the same behavior. She has ingrained a belief system, a subconscious belief system that she is not lovable. that she's not worthy of having love. And she's been holding on to this for her whole life. And what's happened is her behaviors, her actions, are actually affirming her belief that she is not lovable. The energy she's putting out is what's coming back to her. She's not aware that the reason that she's like this is because she has this belief system about her mother that is actually not accurate. She doesn't see that. She can't see it because she has so much emotion around this. What will happen, and will probably continue to happen, is that she's going to keep creating the same problems over and over again. She's going to keep complaining about her family and her friends, and she's going to keep blaming it on other people. At some point, her life may become unbearable to her. She may realize that something's not right here. She won't necessarily recognize that it's a belief system that's in there, but she'll realize something has to change. And of course, she'll think the other people have to change first. And she may not recognize it's herself that needs to change. But if she decides that she really wants to try to fix her life, change it up a little bit, then she may start to realize that she has these patterns. The same things keep happening over and over again. And she might start to realize that those actions are actually demonstrating some kind of belief that she has. And she might, if we're lucky, start to realize that her behavior is affected by the beliefs. And her behavior and her beliefs are what's causing her distress, not her perception of the other people, not her perception of something that may have happened years and years ago. She's got to look at herself on this. And someday, she may actually get to the point where she recognizes that there's this belief there. And she might be able to take it back to the origin and realize, first she might say, well, this keeps happening because I'm not lovable. Well, why do I think I'm not lovable? Well, because my mother didn't love me. She'll blame it on her mom, but she might recognize, I believe this. But then if she starts to look, she might realize that she's not seeing the whole picture, that she didn't realize everything her mother did do for her. She may not appreciate before what was going on, but now maybe she can open her eyes and become more aware and appreciate everything her mother did for her. Her mother providing her with food, providing her with clothing, helping to take her to various places as she was in school, helping to get her into college, whatever it is. She might realize all the things her mother really did and start to appreciate it and recognize that her belief system is just totally wrong. It's a misbelief that is not correct. Once she can see this, maybe if she can see the source of it, see that belief that she has that's an error, and see where the source is and realize it's not true, then she can let that go. And when she lets that go, her actions will change accordingly. And she won't have to keep making the same patterns, the same actions based on this faulty belief system. So what are you holding on to? Everybody has something, and it's usually caused by some kinds of pain, something that happened a long time ago that caused us to create this belief. One way to figure out if you've got something that you're holding on to is to see if the same thing keeps happening over and over and over and over again. Do you have a pattern? Is something happening? If it is, that's a sign there's probably something going on in your head. It's a subconscious thing. You did not create it yourself. It just happened, okay? It could be something as simple as you always have a bad romantic relationship. Your partner always cheats on you. You always have to get new friends because they don't meet your expectations. They always let you down in some way. It could be you have poor communication. Do you always complain about the same things over and over? If you have these patterns, these habits, that's a sign there's something you need to look at, and you need to look at it within yourself. You don't need to blame other people. You don't need to blame yourself. Like I said, it's not your fault. It just developed as you were living your life, and it happens with everybody. You have to pay attention to what's happening, why it keeps happening, and what belief could be in there, what subconscious belief could be in there that is not helping you anymore, that you could let go of. So what you want to do, don't look at the other people, look back at yourself. And I kind of do it as a game. And I think, well, if I were talking to somebody and they said this, why would they say that? What belief could they possibly be holding? And it usually has something to do with not feeling lovable, not feeling worthy, not feeling valuable. And there's no shame in looking at this and then finding the origin of that belief and then going, you know what? It's not true anymore. And as soon as you recognize that, you've raised your awareness and you'll be able to let go of this belief. So this is a tough one for people to grasp because people don't like to see and hear that their problems are actually coming from themselves, not from someone else. It's a big concept. It's difficult. It's hard to grasp at times. But if you can just play with it a little bit and not judge yourself, if you're saying to yourself right now, oh, no, I don't have that, then you probably do. So think about that. It's amazing how it works. I've noticed that since I've started becoming much more aware of this kind of idea that it's something I have within myself and I can let go of it, my life is so much better. I'm just so much happier. So that is my coaching tip today. I want you to be happy. So you're the one going to make the changes to create that inspired life that I love to talk about. If you'd like to reach me and learn more about anything, you can go to my website, which is psychicmediumcolleen.com. And you can also connect with me on Facebook, Medium Coach Colleen Vanderzyden. And I do love to hear from you. So feel free to just say hi. That would be great. So we are going to go on to our first caller tonight, who is Monique from South Carolina. Monique, how are you today?
I am wonderful, and you?
Oh, excellent. I'm so happy to hear you're wonderful. That's so much fun. So
Yeah.
Are you looking for something in particular tonight, or are you looking for a general reading?
No, I actually have some questions.
Okay.
I guess my first question would be, I feel like I know that there's a lot of gateways open since the full moon, and then spring is coming. And I just feel like there's something big on the rise. I'm really into my spirituality. I don't really have a religion, although, my belief system, I believe there is a creator. But I just feel like I've been through a lot. It feels like I'm coming out of it now. And I was wondering, just spiritually, like, I don't even know where I'm going. I just feel like something is about to happen.
That's interesting you say those things, because it seems like this is what I'm hearing a lot from a lot of my coaching clients and a lot of my reading clients as well. There's so much happening right now. And I always say, well, astrologically, things are happening. And I always used to poo-poo that, but I don't anymore, because we've had some really profound astrological things happen in the last few weeks. And everyone now seems to be in this state, and I don't know very many people who aren't, but there's a lot of people in this state now of where we feel almost overwhelmed with the energy. There's so many things going on. We've got problems happening, things we have to let go of. We've got problems that are interfering with how we feel, how we think, and all of this stuff. And you are so on the right track when you talk about something that you're coming out of it now and that you're on the step of something big, because you are. And what's happening is all of the stuff that's gone on and everything you've been releasing and everything that's experienced in your life, especially now, because everything is just moving so fast right now. The consciousness is fast and energy is fast. And what's happening is you've been releasing all this stuff to make room for all of these other things coming in. And I get such a sense that your spirituality is so very strong, because part of it is that you understand more so now than you ever did who you really are and what kind of person you are and what you believe in. There's that sense of you stepping in your power. Do you feel like you're really starting to step into who you really are?
Yeah, and I've done all the releasing too.
Mm-hmm. And it's just going and going. And the fun part of this is sometimes we get caught up in the uncertainty of it, of what's going to happen. And I've been talking about this a lot the last few weeks too, is we get caught up in the uncertainty and we start to worry about it and wonder, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? But really what's going to happen is something amazingly wonderful is what's going to happen, because you're stepping into everything. I feel so many opportunities around you right now. It seems like things are really starting to clarify for you. It seems like you have so many different things, so many different options of what you can pursue and which direction you want to go in. Have you really truly been considering working in the energetic field as a healer or something like this?
I figured out that I can.
Okay,
I've been practicing on my children. I can take their pain away. Now,
excellent.
I don't know Reiki, and I don't know how I do it. I just know I can do it.
Yes, and I've been a healer for a long time, since 2001, actually, and I have studied so many different healing methods, and I can tell you that every single healing method just appeals to different people in different ways, but they're all the same thing, and they're all a form of spiritual healing. They're all a form of allowing God of your understanding, to come through you to help people. And you can take workshops, and there's lots of different kinds of healing methods out there that you can explore. You can take workshops if you wanted just to get some techniques or something like that. But it is something that is important to you, and it is a part of you, because you're a kind of person that wants to make a difference. You want to help people. And since you can do this naturally, which is a real blessing, let me tell you, such a blessing, that you'll be able to do all sorts of things from that as well. And people will come to you for healing. And whether you start a business or anything like that, I don't know with that. But I do feel people coming to you. Do you work with people now, like in a career, a job?
No, I'm actually a person for before.
Okay. You're actually breaking. Okay. It looks like we may have lost Monique. She was breaking up there. Monique, are you still there? No, I don't think she is. Okay, Monique, so you're still listening. I'm going to talk to you a little bit, so I hope you're still listening. What you want to do, if you want to take this healing a little bit further, you want to get it out there, and just, it's an energetic thing, a spiritual thing, okay? So, okay, yeah. You want to make sure you can be aware of what's happening around you, what's going on within yourself as well, because there's a lot of healing that's happened within you, and you're actually quite a clear channel. Okay. Yes, it's going to be exciting. We're going to try to see if we can't get her to come back, but if she doesn't, I'll just keep talking, because I do want her to be able to listen to this later on. I would recommend that anybody out there, not just Monique, but if you're interested in healing work, what you might want to do, you can go online. You just kind of have to be careful, because there are some people who are healers, say they're healers, but they haven't had any training whatsoever, which is not a bad thing. But you've got to be careful, because there are people who just say and do whatever they want. So you do have to be a little bit discerning with that. Okay. There are people out there who are good healers, very good healers and good teachers. And you can find healing classes and workshops, seminars, those kinds of things online, but you can also find them at a lot of spiritualist churches. So if you were to look up a spiritualist church in your community, if there is one, then you might be able to find a healing workshop. Now, I can do a plug for Lilydale Assembly right now, actually, because in the summer, there's a lot of workshops, and I'll be teaching a workshop there this summer called Amplification of Healing Techniques. And if you are interested in doing any healing works, you can find if you go to lilydaleassembly.com, that's where they have all sorts of workshops listed, and you can go and check there. So Monique, pursue your healing. Do it, because you're going to make a big difference in a lot of lives. Okay. We couldn't get her quite back, so we're going to move on to Kathy in Pennsylvania. Kathy, how are you today?
Good.
Excellent. Do you have something in particular you're wanting to know about tonight, or are you looking for a general reading?
Just a general reading.
Okay. I have a woman who's coming in, and I like to touch in with spirit on the other side when I'm doing a reading. And I do have a woman who's coming in. And when she comes in, I do feel a bit of stuff in my right leg. She feels older. She feels as though she was she might have even made to the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s. And I feel stuff in my right leg. It feels like it was a little bit hard for her to walk at times. Okay. I do see her a little bit on the thinner side as well. And she comes through kind of stubborn and kind of strict, kind of stern. I think I like the word stern the best. She feels kind of stern to me. She doesn't feel as a very huggy person. I'm also wondering if she might have had, dentures. I'm wondering if she might have had dentures, because my mouth feels a little funny now, and I feel like I'm having a hard time getting some of my words out. Okay. 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 Do you have an idea who this might be? She's still talking to me, but do you have an idea who this might be?
No, not offhand. I can't think of who it might be.
That's okay. Yeah, sometimes what'll happen is people will come in and I just get talking and talking. I got to get all the information out while I have it, and then later on we might be able to figure out who it is. As she comes in, okay, she's showing my hip now as well. Okay, lots of times I feel things within my body because of my healing work, and I do feel some stuff in my hip that seems to be coming down my leg as well. So I do feel she had an issue with that walking, and definitely related to the hip as well. She does not come through very huggy. I like to call it huggy. She doesn't feel very physically affectionate to me, towards you or anyone else. Okay, she's definitely a little bit standoffish. I'm not convinced she's, your mother or your grandmother or anything like that as yet, just because of how she feels. She does feel a little bit standoffish, like I said. So she might be a little bit related off to the side a little bit more than that. She tells me that she was too concerned about how things were in her life. She was too concerned about controlling everything around her. She was too concerned about finances and all of those things. She says that these things were affecting her life. And by affecting her life, she gives me the impression she did not have a very fun life. She doesn't feel very satisfied to me. She doesn't feel very content. She tells me that you've gone through a bunch of crap, for lack of a better word. You've gone through a bunch of crap. And she says that you do like to have things in a certain way, and it hasn't really always worked out the way you thought it was going to work out. She tells me, though, now that things seem to be shifting. Are things changing for you and things are starting to get a little bit better now?
Yes.
Because she said, okay, she's saying things are shifting. And when she's talking about the shifting, she's giving me the impression of light at the end of the tunnel, that kind of thing. Like it's like you had so many things happening and everything around you, and it just got a little bit, I don't know what the word is, but it makes my head go boom, 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 back and forth. And as she's talking about that, she's saying that things are getting better now. She's talking about your finances. Have you been having some financial difficulties? Because she's telling me things are getting better with that.
Yes, I have.
Okay. Okay, because she's for some reason she wants to talk about that. She was quite the bookkeeper. She kept track of her finances, and she would write everything down to the penny. She had everything figured out. She was very frugal with this. She wanted to know where all her money was going, and it came because of her life, because she didn't really have much money. She says, you can be frugal yourself, and you know how to do it very well. You know how to live without enough money. You don't like it, as no one does, but you know how to do it. You know how to stretch the dollar. She does tell me things have gotten better, and she's very happy about that. She says she doesn't like to see you worried. She doesn't like to see you concerned about what's happening in your life. She likes to see you more lighter, not so concerned about everything that's happening there. She's taking me back. She's taking me back to her leg again. So I do want to go back to that. Whenever they do that, there's a reason for it. Because I feel the sense that she was unsteady on her feet. Obviously, if she had a problem with her leg, I feel some unsteadiness. And I also feel her falling. Okay. And I can feel that she fell, and I feel she did get injured. Okay. I don't know the extent of this injury, but it seems like it's significant enough for her to bring that up. So that may be another piece of evidence to help try to place who this person is. She does give me the impression after she falls that seems to have a profound effect on her life. I don't feel as though her healing was as quick as it should have been. So she must have been on the older side would be my guess. Okay, so she does want to bring that in. Okay, the date of June 16th, June 14th is coming into my head. Is there some significance to June 14th, June 16th, that area in your life?
Not that I can recall.
Okay, hold on to that because it may be related to this woman and what she's got going on. Okay, she's telling me to make sure I tell you that she's very proud of you. She said, because you've gotten through a lot of stuff. You've done it. She says, now it's a matter of looking ahead, not looking back. So don't look back, look ahead. She says, you've got to start making the plans more long-term, more into the future. Start thinking about where you want to go, who you want to be, who you want around you seems to be important as well. She says to make sure that you don't think about what was or what could have been, but think about what will be, what you want to move forward in your life with, what you want to create. She's telling me again how proud she is of you and how happy she is for you, which is a hard thing for her to say because she's not a happy person necessarily. But she says she's very happy for you that these things have shifted for you and things are definitely looking up. She tells me by October, there's a significant improvement in your life. So there's all sorts of things that are going to be shifting and continuing to shift, but it's an upward incline for you now. And she wants to make sure I tell you that. Okay. Whoa, she must have been a good talker because I was talking really fast.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really fast. I told somebody last week they might have to go back and listen to it again because sometimes I get in the flow and it just goes. And I just have to get it all out as fast as I can so that we can, know it and check on it later. Okay. Yeah. So let's see what else. Okay. That's it. I guess she has stepped away. She has stepped aside and done that. So it feels to me like you're on a really good upward path now. And so I see I'm getting my 60-second warning, so I'm going to have to let you go. But it was really nice talking to you, Kathy.
Okay, thank you.
You have a good night. And that was Kathy from Pennsylvania. It's so interesting, isn't it, when the spirits come in, because I just never know what I'm going to say and I never know what they're going to say. And they like to let you know that they're there, that they know what's going on. Now, this week, I do want you to remember to pay attention. If you have any habits, patterns, things going on, not happy with something in your life, don't judge yourself. Just look back on yourself and see if there's something you're holding on to, a belief system that you're holding on to that you may not even really be aware of, but just be open to paying attention. And you might find out that there's something there that you could actually let go of and have a much better, happier life. And I'm Colleen Vanderzyden, and this was Creating an Inspired Life. You can connect with me on Facebook, Medium Coach Colleen Vanderzyden, and on my website, psychicmediumcolleen.com. And I will talk to you next week.